Hi. After doing more than 500 webinars, I've come to a conclusion that people who are attending your webinars are looking for leopards. They want to see leopards. And yes, leopards are rarer than tigers. Obviously, I'm not talking about these leopards. I'm talking about leopard as an acronym. LEAPORDS. This 8-letter word can easily summarize what a good converting webinar has. My name is Jitesh Manwani. I'm a business coach of coaches. In the last 3.5 years, I've made more than 100 people go to 6 to 7 figure of monthly business using the power of abundant coaching system with their coaching business. Very recently, I conducted a webinar where around 1,000 people were there and 320 people took that offer. I think you might have tried a sales webinar, but ouch, it did not convert. Because what coaches do is they think a webinar is a masterclass. So they keep on adding value, and keep giving content, and suddenly they think, oh, time is passing, I need to pitch, and then they pitch. And sales don't happen. Many of the coaches start doing Q&A in the middle of the webinar, which actually breaks the momentum and disconnects the people. Preparation is what majority of the coaches miss. They just start the camera and start speaking. Few coaches get too salesy and just keep selling and make the webinar all about themselves, how great they are, and forget to add enough value, which disengages people and people drop. If you watch this video till the end, because it's going to be a little long, I'm talking about webinars, which is sales webinars, and it is a tough topic to handle in a short period of time. But if you watch till the end, I'm very sure that the learnings, what you're learning from this, will drastically boost your sales conversions. So now I'm going to show you the leopards in the cage. Unleash them. Are you ready? Let's hit it. LEAPORDS, 8 letters. L for likability, how likable you are. E, how engaging is the webinar. O is the offer, how irresistible is the offer. Next, P is how persuading you are, and are you persuading people for a decision which they need to take. A, authority building. R, relatability and how relating is the whole thing. D, duration. Do you stick to the duration? S, how simple you make the content. When my mentees applied this leopard in their webinars, their webinar conversions almost doubled. L for likable. People buy from people who they like. It's very simple. Your likability has to go up to get their buy-in into your course, into your coaching program. One of the best ways to be likable is to be authentic. Be real. Don't fake your language, maybe trying that different accent in your language. Like if I start speaking in a high accent, you may find it pretentious, isn't it? That's what I mean. Don't pretend your language, don't pretend your results, don't pretend your lifestyle, don't pretend. Because people are very smart, they catch it immediately. Don't pretend in your webinars. Be who you are, be very authentic, very real, and people will like you. What else you can do to be likable is share your mission. Like I'm on a mission to make 1 lakh unbreakable coaches who get abundance in their life and the respect which they deserve using the power of abundant coaching system. You see that? It's a mission. When you share your mission, people connect with your mission. You are later, you are secondary as a coach. Your mission is your priority. And if you keep saying about it and you keep sharing that again and again, you automatically become likable. And obviously not likable to everyone. You have to be likable to only those people who really vibe with you. And that's what you're looking for. The third thing what you can do to increase the likability is sharing your own story. We all are product of our past. Share your story because those people will definitely relate to your story who will become a part of your community. The fourth way to increase your likability is get your confidence high. How do you do that? Simple. Practice. Without practicing, you cannot become very good in webinars. Now, what is confidence? How is it delivered? Body language, voice modulation, structuring of your sentences. This all transfers into confidence and it shows that. But the only way to do that is practice. You start webinars, you don't end it. You keep doing them. It takes maybe 100 webinars to get that confidence. But once you get it, it becomes a very converting webinar. The fifth way to increase likability is your dressing. Whatever your profession is, you dress according to that. Like I am a business coach of coaches, so I have to dress like a business coach. If you are a health coach, you dress appropriately. And one more layer is the rule. If you have one more layer, like other than the shirt, one more layer, it works very well. Second thing what you need in your webinars to convert is called engagement. Today, the attention span of people is very low. So you have to keep them engaged, otherwise they drop off. The first way to make your webinars engaging is called polls. Run polls. Like you have Zoom. I do it on Zoom. It's a great way to do it. Is Go ahead and run polls. In the polls, you can ask them, what do you do? Ask their occupation. And you can give them options and they will respond on that. It's a lovely way to actually see who is there in your audience because it's an online program and you cannot see the people. It's a great way to understand your audience. Also, it is a great way to engage people. The second way to increase engagement is playing quiz. So what do? I do like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? KBC type quiz I play with them. Now what happens is that I give them a question, like for an example, I ask them, do you know how many enrollments are there in Udemy alone? And I'll give them options. Option number 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. And they choose one and they type that in the chat. It's beautiful. The chat runs and it's a very engaging experience for them and that's why they don't drop. The third way to make your webinars engaging is asking them how many of you questions. So I always ask them, how many of you agree to this what I just said? Give me AG in the chat box. They give AG. How many of you think this makes sense? Give me MS in the chat box. They give MS in the chat box. So that's how they're engaged and even I know is the webinar going in the right direction or not. The fourth way to make the webinar engaging is amazing PPT. What you can do is you can have multiple slides. Like I have 200 slides. Why? Because most of them, 80% of them are attending on a phone. And on a phone, the audio is not great. So the visibility of the PPT has to be there. Font have to be big and you have to use a lot of PPT so that the context is set and hence the conversion go up. It's just the communication. You are great, you are awesome, but the communication has to happen and written way with PPT is amazing. I'm giving you an example of my webinar PPT on your screen. You can see how many slides do I use to keep the webinar engaging. If you watch this video till the end, here in the top, I'm going to give you my converting webinar. On your top right, a button will come somewhere in the middle of this video. You can click and see that. So watch till the end. The third way to make a converting webinar is hidden in the offer. To make an irresistible offer, the first thing you have to do in your offer is to simplify it. Majority of the times, the coaches give so many bonuses that people get confused what all they are getting. Simplify the offer. With one of our participants, we actually reduced the number of things and the conversions went up. The second thing to make your offer irresistible is the pricing. Keep the pricing affordable as per the audience. And how do you do that? Try and see the competition. See what the market is giving, in how much money, what has been given. And you also price it around that. Don't go high ticket in the beginning because that will be very difficult to sell in one-to-many in the beginning. The third way to make your offer irresistible is give discounts. People love discounts. Who doesn't like discount and sales? But always remember, give a reason for the discount. Let me share a real life story here. There was a time a retailer got an amazing deal on washing machines, 50% off. So he actually gave 45% off and passed it to the customers, keeping only 5%. But the sales did not happen. You know why? Because people were thinking, why such a big discount? There might be a problem in the machine. So what he did was he took the hammer and banged the machines with his hand. And now he puts up a sale saying that 45% off. You know what happened? It got sold. Why? Because now people have a reason that it is a dented machine and that's why he's giving a discount. We need to have a reason why are we giving a discount. The fourth way to make your webinar converting is persuasion. We have to persuade them so that they take a decision. To be very honest with you, people come in webinars with an intent. Today in India, people have understood that there will be a backend, there will be an offer, and if I like it, I will take it. So they are actually coming there to get convinced. If you have the power, if you can persuade them, if you can just push them, they will take that decision. It's just like bungee jumping. You go to bungee jumping, but you're a little scared, but you actually paid for it and you went till there. So you want it. It's just a little push you need, and that's what is called persuasion in a webinar. So how do you persuade people? The first way is called throwing rocks at enemy. I've learned from Russell Brunson, brilliant technique. So just understand this. People are at a current situation and they want to go to a desired situation. And what you are offering is just a vehicle which will take them from their current situation to the desired situation. Yes? But there are other vehicles also which can take them from their current situation to their desired situation. For an example, someone wants to generate leads. And there's one way that they can make videos to do that. And there is one more way they can do podcast to get the same results. Now, I know that if I am promoting a course which is on video making and video sales, I have to understand and I have to share in a webinar that why podcasting is not good enough by sharing stories, examples, facts, figures, and logics, which takes the podcasting down in their head and videos become a priority, and hence they take a decision when I show them the course. The second way to persuade people is inspiring stories. Pick up famous people and share some rare stories which are not known by many about them. Like for an example, you can pick up, say, Elon Musk, who's a famous person, but maybe share a rare story. In that story, the outcome should be that he could do it. He went down, but he caught up. They just need to trust themselves. To be very honest with you, people are not seeing and actually thinking that, is this person good enough? Like the coach is good enough? The problem is they don't think that they can do it. With inspiring stories, you can motivate them, increase their belief in themselves, and hence they take action. The third way to increase the persuasion so that they come to a decision is called one-liners or punches. The one-liners and punches are so powerful that they have the power to change the emotional state of a person immediately when timed well. Let me give you some examples how you can motivate people in one line. The quote goes like this: "Rise and rise again till the lambs become the lions. Through all the chaos and all the pain, God built a warrior. Don't fear failure, rather fear not trying. Remember, a single click on that like button ignites a chain reaction of support." Go ahead and hit the like button if you're motivated by this video. Go ahead and do that, and thank you so much for liking the video. The first way of authority building is sharing Google reviews. Like I share hundreds and hundreds of reviews that people have given 4.7 out of 5 to our 3-day bootcamp 6-figure quicker. So that increases the trust because you become an authority because so many people have reviewed you. The second way to build authority is show your results. Whatever you're teaching, for example, you're teaching painting. If you're sharing your paintings, that shows that you are an authority, that your paintings are so beautiful. And the third way to do that is showing student success. I share a lot of testimonials on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook page, and I conduct interviews with my students who have got some amazing results. That's called student success stories. That's also a brilliant way to show authority that can also be showed in your webinar very quickly in a jiffy. The sixth rule to make your webinar converting is called relatability. The rule is very simple. If it relates to me, I will watch it till the end, and the duration doesn't matter. So how do you make your webinar relatable? It's very simple. Go ahead and understand your niche. Talk to them, understand, and take out myths and mistakes which they do. And if you just talk about myths and mistake, it becomes very, very relevant, and that too in the beginning of the webinar. If you see, even in this video, I've used the same strategy. I did not get to the leopards and explaining the leopards. I initially talked about myths and mistake. Go ahead and see the timestamp. I'll give the timestamp. See that and you will understand, okay, I'm setting the context by sharing myths and mistakes. The second way to increase the relatability is very simple. Show them the community, your community members, your students, your mentees, your coaches. Show them. If you show them, people can see that these people are like me or not. If they are like them, people would like to get into your community because it is very relatable to them, and the people in your community are like them, and hence the relatability goes up. The seventh thing which makes your webinar converting is D for duration. Yes, the duration of the webinar is very, very important. The sweet spot is between 60 minutes to 90 minutes. People think that doing a short webinar will work, but it doesn't. People don't mind spending 1 to 1.5 hours and going deep into your subject. The research says that 60-minute webinars got 2.1 times more registrations than 30-minute webinars, and the 90-minute webinars got 4.6 times more registrations than the 30-minute webinar. This was a research conducted by GoToWebinars. Always stick to the committed duration of your webinar. Otherwise, people drop off and your conversions go downhill. The eighth thing which makes your webinar converting is the most powerful and the least rated by most of the people, but I think it has to be highly rated, and it is called simplification. If your webinar cannot be understood by a 16-year-old kid, you need to simplify it even more. Like in my webinars, to explain a little complex topic like rebranding or repositioning is the same thing, but I want to explain it. So I use a simple household example of cycle agarbatti. Now, I share the story of cycle agarbatti to teach them what is rebranding, and they understand it very easily. Like one more example, I share a story of Joshua Bell, a violinist who played 1 hour of his performance in Library of Congress and got $50,000. But the same performance was played in a metro station the next day and got $32. This Joshua Bell story actually tells them the importance of being in front of the right kind of audience to get paid correctly. There's one more strategy to simplify stuff is called analogies. Like for an example, you want to teach a kid how the heart works in the body and what is the function of the heart. It's very easy. If you just tell that kid, which is like 7-8 years old, that your heart is just like a water pump. Like your daddy says, switch on the water pump and you will get the water in the tap. Similarly, heart pumps the blood in the vessels like the water pump pumps the water in the pipelines. That's an analogy. The most powerful way to simplify something is called sharing your whole system like a diagram step by step. Like I share the abundant coaching system step by step, which actually tells people that yes, the system works because it is clearly put together step by step, and hence it gives them more clarity and conviction to jump into the coaching program. Guys, do you want to make $1 million webinar business? If you're interested in that, I can teach you. It's a beautiful checklist which I have made. Put it in the description absolutely for free, where I've told exactly what is needed to make $1 million coaching business. Go ahead and see that. And also I've dropped in a link here of my converting webinar. You can watch it to learn more.